really instructive. Yeah, I really saw it. 언제든지 live. Liverpool. No, tabella dritta liga, no. How is it better? That's your argument. Not really better.
Mais aussi psychologique pour des salariés, des artisans, des entrepreneurs fatigués de ce stop and go régulier, même si ce coût-là, Hercine, il est évidemment beaucoup plus difficile à mesurer pour l'instant.
Oui. You know, right now, psychologically, artistic and industry, as well as entrepreneur, they're pretty much fatigued and exhausted with the circumstances, with the new regulations, and truly to cope with this type of measures. How do they ever actually, readjust themselves to these type of new lockdowns and circumstances pressing upon them? That's really kind of the sentiment, very much, filled with exhaustion, because they don't really know how to actually survive this new fate. It's a very, very challenging time. For example, your private life is respected. This is our priority. To continue your navigation on this website, you accept the utilization of a tracking system or techniques similarly pursued by French television or Radio France and its partners to store and gain access to your personalized data, such as your IP address, in order to measure and comprehend the audience. So the site can actually serve each member of users much more personally with a customized data and accommodated services. So one can actually, be expect to have a personalized advertisement to suit their choices and to partake in contents by the social network that might intrigue their interest at a personal level. Là, en poursuivant votre navigation sur ces sites, veuillez accepter l'utilisation de traces aux techniques similaires par France Télévisions. Radio France et ses partenaires peuvent stocker et accéder à votre données personnelles telles que votre adresse IP afin de mesurer l'audience, de personnaliser des contenus, des services, de vous proposer de publicité personnalisée et de partager des contenus sur les réseaux sociaux. While continuing your navigation on this website, you actually accept the utilization of the trackings or similar techniques by the French television and of Radio France and its partners to store your information and gain access to your personalized data, such as your IP address, in order to analyze the audience. So we can actually offer personalized content and service and customized advertisements. So they might actually offer you much more well-accommodated personal advertisements or tailor-made commercials and the content from the social networks that suit your interest. 이게 똑같은 메시지야, 왜? 진짜요. 내가 그렇게 했어요.
Ça va? T'as 2 minutes?
Oui.
Alors je te fais la situation, ce sont 2 jeunes cadres.
Oui.
Je sais pas trop ce que c'est.
Et impressionnante.
최신 거를 봐야지. 옛날 그래. Really impressive. Yeah, PSG, the traps and the good plans of a credit extension. I'm not lying.
C'est ok.
I haven't actually watched it. I have not watched it, at the very beginning.
Par mois.
Résultat, elle ne vit plus, ou presque.
C'est vrai que c'est au niveau de l'alimentaire où c'est plus compliqué, parce qu'il y a toujours en plus des factures qu'on n'attend pas. Voilà, quand l'assurance elle arrive, où il y a toujours des choses à payer, c'est évident. Donc on se serre la ceinture.
Et elle n'est pas la seule dans cette situation. Sur une page Facebook qu'elle a créée, plus de 300 personnes se disent victimes de cette société. Cécilia a porté plainte.
So the actual elementary level is very complicated. There are many different legal traps that were planted. So Cecilia is really not the only person. She actually has opened up the social network page, collecting similar type of information. She eventually placed a litigation. She actually was the person who files a lawsuit.
Quand elles seront devant l'immeuble où elle a signé son contrat. Les locaux sont aujourd'hui vides. La société est en liquidation judiciaire.
Mm-hmm. So right now, this property company is really facing a bankruptcy. It has just registered for filing a bankruptcy. It is on its process to liquidate the company. That means the company is possibly seeking a way to sell off its entity to pay off the debts.
Nous avons réussi à joindre le fondateur, qui est aujourd'hui à l'île Maurice. Il se défend d'avoir monté une escroquerie et accuse les banques et la justice d'avoir bloqué son système.
Mm-hmm. We have somehow actually obtained access to talk to a founder of this business. He really actually denied any possibility that this enterprise of real estate is any sort of a fraud. Really, but he only actually blames the system that prevents this type of proper entrepreneurship by constantly creating more of limitations that eventually prevent people from taking out money easily or flourishing the business model of heat. What he actually says that we really wanted to pay back all the monies we have collected in the face of bankruptcy. However, the financial system completely, blocked any type of liquidation to other clients. So our accounts are completely seized by the financial institution. There's no chance that we can ever withdraw money from the system. So even if we ever wanted to pay back and compensate for those clients who in the first place signed up the contract for construction, but they were actually facing dire circumstances as we can no longer progress because we are imminently facing a financial bankruptcy. So currently the liquidation process has been in process because it has applied for it. That's really the reason this founder claims that all the bank accounts are frozen. No transaction can ever be made. The financial institution of France is right now in control of the entire authority. So even if the founder wants to pay back the money, according to his argument, they have not been able to do so because no money can be taken out. The rest of the money inside the system have been under control of the financial institution because the process is really being processed. The bankruptcy process and the liquidation process, these are really are on its way ever since it has filed for it. France Television is a public TV system in France whose headquarters is in Paris. And this belongs to 100% to the French Republic. That means the French Republic owns 100% of this broadcasting system. And it's a radio system, is a Radio France. It has its own radio chapter whose name is Radio France. Hundefunke is the listening system. The French Television is the public broadcast service in France whose headquarters is in Paris, and the French Republic owns 100% of the company with no commercial private holders. The listening radio system is called Radio France. Yeah. French Television was founded on September 7th, 1992. Yeah. By Hervé Bush, out of both the public broadcast channels Antenna 2, later France 2, and France 3, later France 3. France 2 is right next to old, previously held public broadcast service since 1987. However, a portion of it has been privatized in the name of TF1. That's also the main program in France. France 2 is really the greatest. Is one of the main public broadcasting systems since 1987 to claim a greater portion in French entire broadcast service. However, privatized TF1 is another pillar sustaining the French broadcasting system. France 3 is watchable throughout the nation, which has regional as well as local schedules for programming. In the boundary of the afternoon and evening information news programs, as well as public broadcast service. And at that time, its name was FR3, but now it stands for France Region 3. I don't really need to. It's very easy. If I ever actually read it. France 3 is a nationwide watchable program, which above all includes regional local oriented emissions. So local channels, local areas could actually have occasionally different programs customized to local domains in between the afternoon and evening program slot, TV program slot, right? And this takes over the role that would be seen in Germany as a dritte Programm, or even Italian Trechi 3. That means this is equivalent to a German channel dritte Programm, and the Italian Ray 3. Ray 3 channel and the dritte 3 program. I'm not really sure the dritte program. I've never seen it. But you know, and if you ever think of the France 2, and the France 3 is a more like local channel. Starting from the afternoon up until the evening time slot, these are likely to reflect the local domains, and the evening news are likely to focus on a local event. That means, you know, evening news are prone to covering more of a local-oriented news. Normally, France 3 is generally shared throughout the nation, but you know, it's the simple time slots starting from the afternoon up until the evening news. These are really likely to differ from region to region. In between, there are many locally oriented channels are there, and customized programs are there. So that might actually differ from place to place, right? Where you live would actually decide on what type of channel you might actually receive on France 3. But you know, in German, the equivalent channel is a dritte Programm, and in Italy, the similar channel is a Ray 3. That's really similar. Well, that's a silly reason. I don't really need to think about it.